Howdy folks, so welcome back to another tech tip. My name is Ben Drew and I'm here to talk to you today about Quizizz. Now you may have already heard of Quizizz. It's a great kind of formative assessment tool. I prefer it to Kahoot, it's a little more exciting. But there's some new features with it that are cool. So let's go down to quizizz.com. You can log in, create a login. We're going to go to create. And we'll see there with quiz, it says AI inside. So we'll click on that. And we can check it out. You can create from scratch, go to use a website, but we're going to go generate from text. So we're just going to type in a prompt, types of volcanic eruptions. So that's going to be our quiz. I'm going to say I want grade 12 for my Geology 12 class. I can choose the number of questions. I'll say 15. Then I'm going to hit generate questions. So I sit back, let the computer do its thing. It'll then give me some prompts, so you can choose up to 5. So I like those 4. But it doesn't have magma chemistry, which is something I want, so I can just type that in and add that prompt in after. So I hit add, and then I generate my quiz. It's going to take a while, but then you can go back to my library, and then if you look under drafts, you'll see, there it is, volcanic eruptions. So I click on it. This gives me a point to go through all the questions and check on what they do, because sometimes, you know, they're going to make mistakes, so double check that all the answers are correct. So like pyroclastic eruption is good, effusive eruption is good, and make sure that there's no weird formatting issues either. Okay, so far everything kind of looks good on this one, but then I look down at the true or false, and it's formatted very oddly. I don't really like how they've done that, so I can either delete it or I can edit it and go in and change things. So generally it doesn't seem to do a good job with true or false. But anyway, so I go in and now I want to spice this up, and this is where some really neat features that they have. So you see differentiate. You can convert these to real world scenarios, so it just makes the questions a little more interesting. So you click the button, it takes a second, and what I like is that it shows you what your answer was before, or the question was before, and then what they've changed it to. So now it's adding in names, it's adding in scenarios. Now they're on a field trip to a volcano and the field guide is explaining that there's different types of eruptions, etc. So now it becomes a little more grounded, a little more interesting. Okay, so I save that, I like that, but I want to improve engagement even more. So I go over to improve engagements, and then I say make all questions fun. So now they use words like on a thrilling school adventure, there's this big explosive, eruption. So they're starting to use more kind of fun or interesting language, just so it's not like, is it this or is it this? Like this one, what type of volcano releases lava like a giant ice cream machine? Which is an effusive eruption. So I like that, and I click that on. Now this is a great thing for French teachers. Now you can just go down and differentiate, click a button, and it changes everything into French. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the French is good, because I don't fully understand it. From my 3 years of immersion, it looks okay to me, but obviously you have to do your due diligence to make sure that the French is good, just like the content is good. So now I have my French volcanic eruption. I'm going to publish it, and it's time to play it. So now we can go into start a live quiz. So I'm just going to go into classic, I hit continue, and then it's going to give you a code that your students can use to join. They don't need any sort of login, so joinmyquiz.com, and there's my number code. So now this is what the student kind of sees. So I've logged in as a student, it's starting. So this is why I think it's more engaging than Kahoot or anything like that. Is that there's different kind of gamification aspects to it. So they put little funny memes in between questions. There's power-ups, like I just hit double your score. So if you get this right, you get twice the points. There's streak savers, there's supersonic, so if you're really quick, you get extra bonus points. One thing, you'll see this slide is very wordy, so you might not want to use such a wordy slide because it's a lot to read for a kid. But anyway, so this is the scene from the teacher's perspective, or what you can have up on the board. So it can show the leaderboard. You can leave that up there, just show the top 5 students if you want. And then, but at the top, what I like is it's showing you that slider talking about class accuracy. So right now we have 75% accuracy. And it'll show you, that's why it's a nice formative tool to see like where your kids are at overall. It'll show where the class is overall based on these questions. But then you can even go into the question section here and you can go through and you can look at each question, see how many kids are getting it right, how many are getting it wrong. And then at the end of the quiz, you see the overall accuracy, and then you can really dive in now that it's not live anymore, and you can see like individually what questions the kids did, overall right or wrong, and you can see how much time it takes them, so what's taking them longer than other questions. So it gives you a lot of good information that you can use for formative assessment, and I really like it for those aspects. So that's Quizizz in a nutshell. Feel free to check out the new AI features, play around with it, see if you can create something quickly and easily, but make sure you're double checking it to make sure it's actually accurate information. Alright, that's it for today. See you in the next one.